We have heard of cis privilege. We have heard of straight passing privilege. We've heard of white privilege. But oh boy, for the first time, we have fat trans privilege. And no, I am not making this up. Listen to this. Thanks to the Publica, we now have this story. I'll include the link to the story in the description below. It is a website started by my friend Sydney Watson, who I'm sure you guys know. Transgender male found not guilty of indecency in YMCA locker room case. Their past victim condemns verdict. And the article reads, a transgender male who was the subject of multiple complaints after reportedly exposing himself in the women's locker room at an Ohio YMCA has been cleared of charges of public indecency, largely due to their weight. Now, a woman who says she was sexually assaulted is decrying the verdict. Question for you. Why do we never hear about trans guys going naked in men's locker rooms and just like walking around in men's spaces completely naked, showing off their breasts if they haven't had top surgery, and showing off their vagina if they haven't had bottom surgery? I wonder why. Apparently this wasn't the first time this said trans woman has done this. Each time, mind you, underage girls were present. Although this person was given permission by the director apparently of the YMCA to use the women's spaces, still doesn't mean I think it's morally okay. I still don't understand how this trans woman doesn't see this as creepy. Women don't walk around locker rooms with their undies off. I've never seen that, especially if they have a dick. Women don't even walk around topless in New York City, even though legally they are allowed to. Like if you've been to the New York City Pride Parade or the Halloween Parade, you know women will walk around topless, but that's because there's a ton of people, a ton of police officers present, but that doesn't stop the fact that they know if they were to do this on the regular, they'd be harassed. So yeah, this is not a thing that women do. Again, if you want to be seen as a woman, act like one.
I don't really know how else to tell you this, but if you saw me dressed like this, walking down the street in my heels, pretend I shaved my beard and I had one of these on my face, you would have no clue, all right? I don't really personally use passing as like my threshold for womanhood.
This right there makes absolutely no sense to me. Again, I've stated before that while woman should mean, and technically in some cases hopefully still does mean, adult human female, we do have to take into account the fact that societally there are going to be some people that slip under the radar that are biologically male. Being a woman, adult human female, and being seen as a woman societally are two different things. Usually they're connected, but not always. There is such a thing as socially being seen as a woman. I'm gonna give you this example that I talk about quite often on Twitter and in debates and such. I had an ex-lesbian couple friend of mine that had gone to somewhere in the Middle East on vacation. And of course they didn't want to be harassed. One of the women in the relationship was already very masculine, very butch. She went there and presented as a guy the whole time, even had a fake beard. And they walked the streets and held hands and kissed in public and nobody cared. And they were fine, they were not harassed. So there are both biological and social categories, or social instances, let's say, being perceived as a man or a woman. Surely it makes sense to have at least one of these things going for you to claim an identity to womanhood, but of course, not according to this entitled brat, who apparently doesn't use passing as a woman as a threshold for womanhood.
I don't really personally use passing as like my threshold for womanhood. I understand that a lot of trans people want to pass. It's a goal. I respect it deeply. It is not one of mine. It's not how my fluidity functions. I don't live for the validation of other people deciding what they think that my gender passes as.
So womanhood to this person is what? If it's not being biologically female and it's not being seen societally as a woman, what is it? Hair and makeup? Gender expression? Because that's sexist.
I would really caution you about policing other people's gender expressions, because it's just not your business. If you look at me and you see a man, that's your transphobia that you are projecting onto people like me, and you're just making the world less safe.
Basically, if you see what you see, you're wrong. Gaslighting to the absolute extreme here. I mean, could it be the bone structure, the chest hair, the flat chest, the broad shoulders, deep voice? I mean, no, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Self-ID is a great idea if that's what it actually means. Self-ID. But expecting, rather even demanding others see you in real life how you see yourself in your head is gaslighting.
Who you gonna believe? Me or your own eyes?
If you truly don't use your own ability to pass to validate yourself, then why are you getting upset when people misgender you? Like accidentally misgender you? And to those people who are going to say, no one is demanding it, bitch, they are.
Asking anyone to respect me. I'm demanding it. When I tell you what my pronouns are, I expect you to use them. I deserve baseline human respect. You don't have to tolerate me, you don't have to accept me, you don't have to like me, but you do have to respect me. And if you don't, you can catch that same energy coming right back to you. Trans people are done asking you to let us exist.
Personally, on my end, I don't see anyone claiming that trans people shouldn't exist. If they are saying that, I am one of the first people to stand up and fight for actual transsexual people's rights. Adults should be legally allowed to do with their body, for the most part, as they please. But again, self-ID should be exactly that in most cases. I'm talking specifically about when someone doesn't pass as the gender that they claim they are. Because honestly, just the entitlement here is disgusting. This tweet nails it. I have one simple question. At what point do someone's feelings supersede my right to not participate in their own self-image? And yeah, this complete illusion behavior is happening over and over again.
I stream, and on that stream, I play Sea of Thieves sometimes. And tonight, I decided to play with friends, and one of my friends asked if they could invite one of their friends, and I said yes. And then this happened.
Oh, there's nothing in the barrels, he says.
I hate the barrels. I'm not a he. Sorry.
What?
I go by they.
Well, they's plural.
They has been used as a singular for hundreds of years.
Just a little word of advice. If somebody invites you onto their stream and you misgender them and they correct you, don't fight them on it.
People like them forget that most people don't even know that pronouns are a thing. Like, they don't even know what pronouns are. This is the majority of the world right now.
What are your pronouns?
For who?
Your pronouns.
A pronoun. Man. You got me. My pronouns?
Yeah.
Top G strong. What you mean? Regular, cool, laid back? Yeah.
Also, message to them. If you look like a dude, don't get upset when people misgender you. It's just how the world is, bro. If it actually bothers you, why don't you at least do something, anything to alter your physical appearance? It doesn't have to be surgeries. Butch lesbians have forever been misgendered. I've rarely ever seen any of them get upset about it. Because they know they walk out into the world and people are gonna see them as a dude usually, or at least sometimes. They simply correct them and move on. They don't sit there crying, making videos about it, claiming victimhood points and oppression. If you really believe who you say you are, nothing should prevent you from feeling valid. But that's all we ever see from these types of people. If you are new to this channel, please make sure to subscribe. We do gender ideology, sexual orientation, sexuality based politics for the most part on this channel, and we do not hold back. Other than that, I will see you guys back here on Sunday with a brand new video. Until then, I love you. Keep criticizing these crazy people, but in a peaceful way. Love yourselves. Bye!